Hi, Linkles here at pressure-free.com. I'm walking in the Highlands today at Blandford. It's gorgeous. I mean, there's a lot of color in the trees. Can't really see there. It's a beautiful pine tree though, and it's not nice to see green when everything is starting to turn color, the oranges, the reds, the golds, the brown. And it got me thinking about holidays because we're coming up to a couple of months of a lot of holidays, depending on your religion and what you're experiencing. And also, we're coming up to the shortest day of the year in North America. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of the things that I know my clients have and I have experienced when it comes to this season and some of the stressors. And I have a question for you, like, what's something that prevents you from having a really great holiday season? Is there something, and you like my hat, thank you. It's kind of fun. Is there that something that happens every year for you and you just wish it didn't happen? I'll tell you what it was for me for years. It was getting sick. So pretty much as when it would start to get cold, somebody in our house would come home with something, and I would tend to get it and get it even worse than everybody else. And so for most of my adult life, sometime over the holidays, I would be sick. And that would prevent me from really having the kind of holidays that I wanted because I would be working full time. When you're a musician too, you're often playing gigs in the this particular season. So I'd be playing a lot and I had this kind of screwed up. Um, so these things would cause a lot of pressure on me and I would tend to get sick. I also wanted my holidays to be really great for my family. Um, some parents, it's like, how are we going to have enough money to have a really great holiday season? Um, so money can be a factor, that can be a stressor. For me, I just wanted to make really beautiful food. Alana says, I don't love sending Christmas cards or baking. So yeah, so what is it that it's like that little added pressure this time of year? And because we have the days shortening, the daylight shortening on us, that can be a factor too, where you just kind of want to hibernate a little bit. And yet it's usually for a lot of people one of the busiest times of the year, depending on your profession too. End of the year can be an intense time as you finish up as a business owner, finish quarter four. Can be a lot of pressure there at work. I remember that would be the case in some of the things that I did in my lifetime. So holiday season. How do we have a really great holiday season? I loved my first pressure free holiday season. I didn't get sick, number one, because finally my immune system was working. So it starts now, it starts early November. This idea that you plan, it can actually start to create a better holiday system, season for yourself. And the first thing that I suggest you do is plant the seed in your mind that it can be a fabulous holiday season. Oh, I forgot one trigger too that a lot of people brought up for me is maybe you have to spend the holidays with some family members or people in your life that cause a little bit of stress. I've had clients who never liked going to the family gatherings because they kind of felt like the black sheep, or they felt like they weren't included or recognized or even loved. I've had clients who've gone to their holiday events and there's just all this arguing and all this craziness and they just don't like that. So you might have some social stuff going down around the holidays that cause you a lot of pressure, stress, release of stress hormones. Tonight I'm going to a gala, so there's a lot of galas and festivities that are happening this time of year, and maybe you get a little social anxiety. So social anxiety pops those stress hormones and is a real issue when it comes to keeping yourself healthy. So bottom line, number one, what are your targets? How do you want it to be? How would you like this holiday season to be? If it could be your most ideal holiday season, what would it look like? And how would you be experiencing it? And what are the top priorities? When I thought about the targets for mine, when I really got clear about it, the number one thing for me was authentic and real connection to my kids and the people I love. Like real connection and not being in a hurry. Because when you're in a hurry, you're not really present with people. So I chilled out. Instead of pressing in and going harder during the holidays, I started to do the opposite. I started to just kind of, relax, spend more time working on the holiday puzzle, spend more time playing cards with my kids. Um, there were some things I didn't do as intensely, like baking, cooking. I still cooked great meals, and I baked the favorite Christmas cookies, but I didn't do all the extras. I let go of a lot of the extras. So maybe you need to streamline a little bit and pare down, and I pared down on how much I decorated over the holidays. And I really dug into what was most important to me. Maybe the decorations are important to you and they give you a lot of joy. So take a little time to decide how you want it to be. And I'd write it down. Write down your plan for the next couple of months. Take yourself into the first week of January. What does it look like? What's important to you? We get to do things a little differently, I think, because of what's been going on for the past 2 years. We get to do things a little differently. So how do you want to do it? Those are your targets. Number two, you got to figure out what are some of your holiday triggers. Alana wrote sending Christmas cards or baking. So what are some of your triggers? Things that you don't want to do, or that make you nervous, that make you anxious, that pull you out of your best self. Maybe you're going to change up who you spend Christmas with. You get to choose, it's your life. There are consequences when you decide that you're not going to be with certain people. There can be consequences, but sort that out in your head. Write it down. Think about it. If you can identify some of those targets, here's a target that I saw this morning. We had frost and snow the other morning, and I saw people scraping their cars. So maybe scraping your car when it starts to get cold could be an issue for you. Figuring out those targets that happen this time of year. Maybe it doesn't have anything specifically to do with the holidays, but it has to do with this time of year. That can be really helpful for you. So identify some targets. And then step 3, use some tools so that you don't trigger stress hormones over all of these little triggers that come in. Triggers. So targets, triggers, tools, 3 steps. So your tools might be, I always go to relax my abs when I think about social situations. So I'm going to a social situation tonight that I may know 2 people in the entire room because it's a new city for me, and it's it's a nonprofit I don't know. So this is a new social situation for me. So I'm definitely going to have relaxed abs tonight so that when I meet new people, I can actually remember their names. So, so in that 10-second window, when you start to feel the pressure, when you start to feel something come on, go ahead and just relax your abs. That's an easy one. A little bit of a smile helps too. I'm also going to practice for the holiday season. I practice the double yellow line. So you can even use a motion with your arms with a double yellow line. But when you're driving down the road, what does double yellow line mean? You can't pass. So if you can't pass, it means you're staying in your lane. So if you double yellow line all the things that you're doing in your day and you just stay in your lane, it's a really beautiful way for you to be present, for people to feel like you're really present with them. And if your abs are relaxed and your heart is open, you're going wide with your shoulders, you're like really with people, they will feel like they are seen and heard. And I think that's the deepest and most important thing we want during the holidays, is to really have beautiful connections. So also, like if you're doing all the other things, baking the cookies, writing the cards, if you're double yellow lining it, you're like in it. Maybe you might have some beautiful music on while you do it, depending on the thing that you're doing. But taking the time to just really feel connected in. Um, Again, double yellow line, relax the abs, smile. Those are the 3 tools coming up for me right now, and the plan. So I would take some time to really define. It's just like if you've ever written a plan for your work, where you're laying out the goals, the vision, what you really want to have happen. Do the same thing for these next 2 months. What do you want to have happen over these next 2 months? How do you want to celebrate New Year's? Like, what's important to you? What people do you want to spend time with? It's just kind of a cool exercise. Who are you going to call that you haven't called in 30 years? I love it when I call people I haven't talked to in many, many years. It's just delightful to have a chance to connect, and the holidays are a beautiful time for that. And Alana says, "Oh, thank you so much, Alana. Thank you so much for being on here with me today." Facebook is a little wonky these days. I used to get like hundreds of people on at a time, but I'm just going to take. I love the one. So people who see this are the people who are supposed to be here. And, pressure free is here for you. If you want to learn more, if you want to go deeper, just reach out, send me a little private message, and we can connect. Yeah, I just wish you a great pressure free day. Bye.